Hey everybody, welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve G, and what we have this time is the Kohetsu SLD Sujihiki 270mm knife. So this line of knives is a good value. They've got good steel on it, nice fit and finish. They're well executed, good high value for the money. I've got a couple of these in different shapes, but these are just right up there with what I see on the other ones. So the way these are made is they are 3 layers. The center core cutting edge steel is SLD semi-stainless steel. It's a good steel. Heat treats about 61, 62 Rockwell on that. It sharpens up nice, holds a decent edge to it. So I like it from my experience having used it in a couple different blades, one in a fairly regular rotation in my knife drawer. The construction has soft stainless cladding on either side of that core steel, so it's easy maintenance. In practice, as long as you don't let it sit a long time wet, this pretty much acts like stainless, that core steel, at least in my experience. And this has a little bit of a kind of their trademark pattern on it. The pattern here is fairly shallow. Sometimes you get a little deeper pattern on it, depending on how the knife's done, how much polish they put on it. You can see it's got a fair amount of polish to it. We'll show you a close-up in a couple of minutes. The weight and dimensions can vary a little bit on these from knife to knife. This particular one is 142 grams or 5 ounces. And heat treat I just mentioned, about 61, 62 Rockwell. Handles, just good basic kind of standard octagonal handle that's walnut with a black packawood ferrule. They've got some chamfer on the back here and chamfer on the front. Pretty nice glue up job right there, so it's sealed up nicely. These are fairly thick coming out of the handle on these. This is the way they're built. Edge length is right about 270 millimeters on this one, or 10.6 inches, and the overall length is about 425 millimeters, or 16.7 inches. Again, these are thick coming out of the spine, but they thin out pretty quick, so I got about 3.3 millimeters right above the heel here. And then halfway down, I got about 1.9, and it pretty much holds that. These have a Kohetsu style tip on them, so there's your corner, and you can see the grind's pretty generous where we start grinding towards the tip. So these get pretty thin towards the tip, so performance should be nice through things if you want to use it for kind of general cutting chores as well as the slicing duties that it's designed for. Thin at the edge as well, so performance should be quite good on these. Blade height, about 35.2 on this one. You've got a thin neck. These seem to be fairly standard where the neck's fairly long going into the handle, so you've got a good spot there for a pinch grip. So plenty of clearance there in a cutting board, depending on how you like to hold these. Let's get our beauty shot. Fit and finish is nicely done on this. I'll give this a 7 out of 10 on the edge as I did the 240, so they put some pretty nice edges on these. Fair amount of polish to it. Seems a pretty consistently created edge. Looks pretty good. Very sharp out of the box. Actually, this is almost one of the best shots here. You see that change right there. There's your core steel. There's your cladding. Got a fair amount of polish on these, so it's a little hard reflection-wise. I did a magnifier to look a little closely at this kanji, and it looks to me like it's hand engraved. It's a nice job. That's unusual to see something that small, but it seems hand cut to me, and very nicely done, very crisp all the way around. So that's a really cool look there. There's your kind of pattern in there, and then your grind down towards the edge. Excuse his fingerprint. There's your edge core steel right there. Here's the left side of the blade. And there's your texture. No markings on this left side of the blade. And then they've done a nice job doing some polish to the spine, a little bit of relief on the corners of the spine, and they've done some polish to the back and relieved a little bit of the corners of the choil into the neck there. So very nice, ready to rock and roll right out of the box. This knife line represents a high value. They're cool to look at. The steel's good, easy maintenance. They're always a pretty good value line of knives. I didn't do this with the 240, but it's pretty similar to this one. So you'll see if you do want to use it on a board, some people do use this for general purpose use, try to cut down on how many knives they have laying around, or use especially in a pro kitchen. So you can see it's pretty flat towards the back. This will definitely chop towards the back, and then you got a pretty aggressive belly, so you could rock with this thing if you wanted to, not a problem. And 240 was fairly similar to this, if you're wondering. So Again, just a good value line of knives with good steel, interesting patterns to it, interesting construction, easy to use, easy to maintain. So this is the Kohetsu SLD Sujihiki 270mm knife from Chef Knives To Go.